Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Supply Chain Talks. Today, the topic that we are going to discuss is what I like to call or refer to as the heart and soul of supply chain management. That is sales and operations planning, S&OP. I was very fortunate in my career early on that I joined supply chain in the planning function. So I was exposed to sales and operations planning very early on. I have always referred to the planning function as the umbrella function of supply chain management. The reason for that is planning function is the only function that has a full spectrum view of supply chain management and every activity that is going across an organization, from sales to marketing to production to manufacturing to distribution, finance, everything. And in that regard, sales and operation planning is the most critical or the most powerful tool that the planning function has to support the organization. Now, the question arises, what is S&OP or Sales and Operations Planning? In the words of Ms. Laura from Supply Chain Insights, S&OP is a cross-functional process to align the commercial processes of sales and marketing with the operational processes of supply. A more detailed definition of S&OP is provided by Apex, and that is S&OP is a process to develop tactical plans that provide management the ability to strategically direct its businesses to achieve comparative advantage on a continuous basis by integrating customer-focused marketing plans for new and existing products with the management of the supply chain. Now, what does the S&OP process actually do? The process brings together all the plans for the business from marketing, sales, development, manufacturing, finance, sourcing into one integrated set of plans. Ideally, it is performed once a month, in which the key management representatives are available from all departments. The planning horizon for the S&OP process is ideally between 12 to 24 months. That is from an intermediate plan to a long-term plan, so that any requirements for future resources and capabilities can be looked into well in advance. And it provides sufficient time to the business to plan for resources to support the annual business planning process. Now, simply put, the S&OP process comprises of 4 plans, or simply put, it is the synergy of 4 plans into one plan. That being the sales plan. The sales plan look at the sales forecast, any product launches or any discounts or promotions happening that should be brought onto the table in an S&OP process. The second is the manufacturing plan. It basically looks into the capacity available, the capacity utilized, and that also brings into light the free capacity, any periodic maintenance plan or any bottlenecks in the near future, any addition of new equipment in the future. So that would define new available capacity. The third being supply plan. That is, when are the materials coming in, or what are the inventory levels, or are there any risks associated with the supply plans. Distribution plan. It looks into the back orders, any backlog, any bottlenecks or any risk associated, or any bad credit of any customer that could hamper the defined sales forecast or the sales plan. In addition to this, the S&OP process also touch base on the cost of goods, how can it be optimized, the resources available or the required resources to ensure that the plans are met and realized, the revenue generation, or what is the expected revenue generation based on these plans. If it is not up to the management expectation, then the plans needs to be revisited or redefined. And to make sure that the plans are executed properly, a critical look at the available resources or any future resources that might be needed needs to be discussed in the SNOP process as well. Having said all of this, still we need to ensure that the SNOP process itself is a success. So now I will go through the factors which can help you as a supply chain professional to ensure that the SNOP process is a success. The first and most important is that the SNOP process should comprise of regular, periodic, and disciplined meetings, which means that the SNOP process should comprise of predefined set meetings with a defined agenda or the points that need to be discussed in that meeting, who will be the participants, and everything should be well defined, agreed upon. The second step or the second factor is the pre-alignment. That is, all the departments or the function who are coming in to the SNOP meeting should bring in their aggregate plans or their draft plans, and so that whatever is discussed can be looked from all aspects. The third factor is cross-functional participation. As defined earlier, that an SNOP process is a synergy. So the participation of sales, marketing, manufacturing, from planning, from finance, they all should be there so that all the inputs are available. The fourth factor is very important. That is, the participants of the SNOP process should be empowered to take the decision. It should not be the case that a certain point is discussed in the SNOP and that it cannot come to a final conclusion because the concerned participant in the meeting is not empowered to take a call, to take a decision. So the management need to ensure that the team, cross-functional team that is formulated for the SNOP process should be completely empowered to make the decision there and then. The decision should not linger on beyond the meeting time. The decision needs to be taken within the meeting. The next factor is that the participant should be responsible and unbiased. That means they are responsible for their actions and they should not use their influence on any other participants, so that their actions and their involvement in the process is completely unbiased. The next success factor is that the process should be a collaborative process. Basically, it means that all the participants should collaborate amongst themselves to ensure the success of the process. They should support each other. They should understand or support the limitations, or they should try to meet the expectations of the other participants in the process. The next factor is consensus and accountability. It basically means that a buy-in of all the stakeholders should be on the process. It cannot be a majority vote. All members have to agree upon the plan and take ownership of it. And once you take the ownership, then only you are rightfully accountable for it. Moving on, coming into the process, all stakeholders should come in with a baseline forecast. What it actually means is that everyone should come in with a forecast which is not limited by any constraints. It should be a true forecast. It should be representative of what they can achieve or what they can do. Why is the baseline forecast important? It is important because it creates the ground for the SNOP process to build up its final forecast. Thus, the baseline forecast should be unbiased, unconstrained, and should incorporate all known impacts of future demand. A lot of SNOP process fail because what happens is that the supply part of the SNOP is there only to chase after the demand. That should not be the case. There should be a synergy between the demand team and the supply team. That is, if a demand plan is set forward, The supply should look into it, should define that can it be achieved, or on the other hand, they should challenge it as well that no, looking at the previous history, this demand is unrealistic, or maybe that there is a certain available capacity. So the challenge should be to increase the demands to make the capacity utilized properly. So there should be a complete synergy and understanding, a collaboration between the demand and the supply plans. Now, having done all of this, as mentioned earlier, success factor was the accountability. So how to ensure that there is an accountability process in place that is to measure the process. Now, there are different techniques and tools available to measure the process. One is to look at what was the forecast, what was the actual sales, so the forecast accuracy, forecast bias, and many other tools can be incorporated into the S&OP process to measure the process itself. In today's age, technology plays a very critical role in supply chain management. Thus, all these processes can be supported and are supported by technology, by sound ERP systems, by IoT. Technology should be taken into account when doing the measurement, when doing the collaboration, when setting out the plans, when fine-tuning your plans during the process. A very key tool for the S&OP process is the dashboard, in which all factors, all parameters can be displayed on real time, where all the plans, their measurements, and their accuracies can be displayed in real time. So far, the success factors that we discussed have been internal factors. The last success factor to be incorporated in the S&OP process is the information or the input from the external partners, that is down the stream demand, any input from your partners, or may it be the suppliers, may it be the customers. So all those external inputs should be taken into account as well when streamlining or defining your final S&OP forecast or plan. In conclusion, I hope that the process, the definition, the importance, and the provided success factors for the S&OP process are useful to all of you. So if you have any questions or comments or queries, please leave them in the comment section below. I thank you all for listening in. Take care.